move me over a little bit here. All right. Happy Sabbath, everybody. Back with Exodus. I've got the Septuagint pulled up here, and I've got the KJV pulled up. Got links to those below. I also pulled up the Charles Thompson Septuagint translation. I'll drop that in the description here. Paste. Update. Alright. And I got the Targum pulled up. The Aramaic Targums. Pseudo-Jonathan's here. And they've got Onkelos. I got Pseudo-Jonathan pulled up. One interesting thing I found before I start reading, I was getting everything ready, and I noticed it said, it always confused me, for I am Yahuwah thy Elohim. They stuck Lord and God in there, so that's not what was in the original. Am a jealous God, so he's jealous. And you look over here in the KJV, and it's got, where's that, heaven above, he's a jealous God, see? And you look in the Targums, and it's got, he's a jealous God. So, let's see here, come back, 20, no, it's 19. And, yep, say jealous. Zoom in a little bit so you can see it. But you look in the Thompson translation and it says he's zealous. Interesting. I got those pulled up, and also I'm going to pull up let's see. Let's use scroll. I'm going to pull this over here and go to, I forgot to pull this up. So you got, this tells you here the fragment, what book it is, the language, Hebrew, the approximate date it was written or copied. And this Q1 is Qumran Cave 1. And here's the contents of the scroll. Be nice if they did that on every single one of them, but they don't. Go to Exodus. Change to book and chapter view right here. So, well, maybe that's what happens in scroll view. Let's see. So if you look at the individual scrolls, it tells you different information. That's cool. This scroll here includes 16, 19, 20, and 21. So it tells you it's written in Hebrew. And approximate date. Go to the next scroll, Hebrew, where it was found. Next scroll, Hebrew. Next scroll, approximate date 50 to 25 BC. And that one's in Hebrew. That one's in Hebrew. Hebrew. Paleo Exodus is Hebrew in the Paleo Hebrew script. So good thing they could translate the Paleo Hebrew, or we wouldn't be able to read it. You can go to Wadi Marab, Hebrew. Hebrew. Most of them are in Hebrew. Hebrew. Exodus, Leviticus, Hebrew. Exodus, Hebrew. And you've got one scroll here that was in Greek. And it contains Qumran Cave 7, contains Exodus 28, and that's it. Although the scroll is written in Greek, this scroll's wording agrees with the Hebrew Masoretic text and not the LXX. Interesting. So, to make it easier, though, I'll switch to book and chapter view. And I'll go to Exodus, and we're at 20. And it says, jealous God. I wonder why he translated it zealous in the Thompson. They translate it jealous. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got that, and then let's see what we want to go to. Yep, interlinear. Exodus 20 interlinear. Exodus 20 in the interlinear Bible. Got Happy Sabbath. His kingdom come and kin. So we got, I won't zoom in too much. Exodus 20 in the interlinear. Yahweh. Pronounced there, and let's see, my commandments. And it says jealous in the interlinear. Kana. So the only one that's different is this Thompson Septuagint. It says zealous. Zealous makes more sense, but I guess jealous works too. So Exodus chapter 20 from scroll 1Q2. Elohim spoke all these words saying, or Yah spoke all these words saying, and we're missing one there. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. 4. Got a 4 anywhere? Thou shalt not make to thyself an idol or nor likeness of anything, whatever things are in the heaven above, and whatever are in the earth beneath, and whatever are in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow yourself down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers, lawlessness, on the children, and on the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, and showing loving kindness to the thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. And something interesting I found in the Dead Sea Scrolls is in the Dead Sea Scrolls in, where's it at? I believe these are the interpretations of the scriptures by the Levite priest, John the Baptist, in the wilderness of Judea. Yep, the exhortation. So this is the exhortation. And well, it quotes it here as it is written, keeping the covenant and grace with those who love me and keep my commandments to 1,000 generations. Deuteronomy 7:9. And here it says, but those who turn from the sin of Jacob and who keep the covenant of Elohim, or Yah, shall then speak each man to his fellow, to justify each man his brother, that their step may take the way of Elohim. And Yahuwah will heed their words, and will hear, in a book of reminder shall be written before him that fear Elohim and worship his name, against the time when salvation and righteousness shall be revealed to them that fear Yahuwah. And then shall you distinguish once more between the just and the wicked, between one that serves Yahuwah and one that serves him not. Malachi 3:18. And he will show loving kindness to thousands, to them that love him and watch for him for 1,000 generations. Exodus 26. So that's a different manuscript than the Exodus fragment here. So, to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments, to 1,000 generations. And we got 6, 7. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Elohim in vain, for Yahuwah thy Elohim shall not acquit him that takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and shalt perform all thy work. But on the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy Elohim. On it thou shalt do no work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy servant, nor thy maidservant, thine ox, nor thine ass, nor any cattle of thine, nor the stranger that sojourns with thee. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and the earth, and the sea, and all the things in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore Yahuwah blessed the 7th day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest live long on the good land which Yahuwah thy Elohim gives to thee. Thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, nor his field, nor his servant, nor his maid, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor any of his cattle, nor whatever belongs to thy neighbor. 25, yeah. No, 8. We got 18 here, yep. All the people perceived the thunderings, the lightnings, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. When the people saw it, they trembled and stayed at a distance. They said to Moses, and speak with us yourself, and we will listen. This is in the traditional text. That's why it's marked through and it's red in our modern Bibles, but it's not in the scroll. It's missing from the manuscript. And said to Moses, speak thou to us, and let not God speak to us, lest we die. See, it's in the Septuagint too, but it's not in the Dead Sea Scrolls. What it says in the scrolls is, they said to Moses, behold, Yahuwah our Elohim has shown us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the middle of the fire. We have seen today that Elohim does speak with man, and he lives. Now therefore why should we die? For this great fire will consume us if we hear Yahuwah our Elohim's voice any more. Then we shall die, for who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living Elohim speaking out of the middle of the fire as we have and lived? Go near and hear all that Yahuwah our Elohim shall say, and tell us all that Yahuwah our Elohim tells you, and we will hear it and do it. But don't let Elohim speak with us lest we die. So it's in there, well, part of it, but it's at the end. Speak with us lest we die. And they said to Moses, is not in there, but let not Elohim speak to us lest we die. So we got 19 to 25. And Moses says to them, be of good courage, for Elohim is come to try you, that his fear may be among you, that you sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses went into the darkness where Elohim was. And Yahuwah said to Moses, thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and thou shalt report it to the children of Israel. You have seen that I have spoken to you from heaven. You shall not make to yourselves Elohim of silver and Elohim of gold. You shall not make to yourselves. You shall make to me an altar of earth, and upon it you shall sacrifice your whole burnt offerings, and your peace offerings, and your sheep, and your calves in every place where I shall record my name, and I will come to thee and bless thee. And if thou wilt make to me an altar of stones, thou shalt not build them with hewn stones, for thou hast lifted up thy tool upon them, and they are defiled. Excuse me. Thou shalt not go up to my altar by steps, that thou mayest not uncover thy nakedness upon it. And a little tie-in. So we're looking at, they didn't want him to speak out of for this great fire. His glory, we have heard his voice out of the middle of the fire. Speak with man, and he lives. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. So if you look at Deuteronomy 18, Deuteronomy 18:15, Yahuwah thy Elohim will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him you shall hearken. According to all that thou desirest of Yahuwah thy Elohim in Horeb in the day of assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahuwah my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. So that prophet's going to teach everything that he just taught right there in the day of assembly. And Yahuwah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I'll raise up them a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it will come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. So the prophet that was supposed to teach what we just went over, John 5:46. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Acts 3 tells you a little bit more. Acts 3:22, for Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall Yahuwah your Elohim raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me, him shall you hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. The 10 Commandments. It shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people. Yea, and all the prophets from Samuel and those that follow after, as many as spoken, have likewise foretold of these days. So he was prophesied to teach the commandments. He was the prophet like unto Moses. Doctrine. He even said, John 7:16, Yahusha answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. And Jesus, he's not Greek. He's not English. My doctrine is not mine, but him that sent me. The Father's doctrine is Proverbs 4:2, for I give you good doctrine, forsake you not my law. He gave them the 10 Commandments. So we got, 21. I lost my Exodus. There we go. So next chapter, 21. The Targums have some interesting stuff. And Yahuwah spake all these words, saying, in the Jerusalem Targum has, and the word of Yahuwah spake all the excellency of these words, saying. So who came down on the mountain? It says nobody's seen the Father but the Son. It tells you that. John 6:46. Not that any man hath seen the Father, save he which is of Elohim. He hath seen the Father. So who did they see when he came down? He spoke to them. We have seen today that God does speak with man, and he lives. No one's seen the Father. Yahusha came down on the mountain. So we've got, what was I looking at? Oh yeah. And the word of Yahuwah spake all the excellency of these words. The first word as it came forth from the mouth of the Holy One, whose name be blessed, was like storms and lightnings and flames of fire, with a burning light on his right hand and on his left. It winged its way through the air of the heavens, and was made manifest unto the camp of Israel, and returned, and was engraven on the tables of the covenant that were given by the hand of Moshe, and were turned in them from side to side. And then called he, and said, Sons of Israel, my people, I am Yahuwah your Elohim, who brought you out free from the land of Mitzrayim, Egypt, from the house of the bondage of slaves. The second word which came forth from the mouth of the Holy One, whose name be blessed, was like storms and lightnings and flames of fire. A burning light was on his right hand and on his left, and was borne through the air of the heavens, and returned, and was made manifest unto the camp of Israel. It returned, and was engraven on the tables of the covenant, and was turned in them from side to side. Then called he, and said, House of Israel, my people, thou shalt have no other God beside me, or no other Elohim beside me. You shall not make to yourselves image or figure, or any similitude of what is in the heavens above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, or worship before them. For I, Yahuwah your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, and an avenger, punishing with vengeance, recording the guilt of the wicked fathers upon rebellious children, unto the third and unto the fourth generation of them who hate me, but keeping mercy and goodness for thousands of generations. That's what it said in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Of the righteous who love me, and who keep my commandments and my laws. Commandments and laws. My people of the house of Israel, let no one of you swear by the name of the word of Yahuwah your Elohim in vain, for in the day of the great judgment Yahuwah will not hold guiltless anyone who sweareth by his name in vain. Luke 6:46. And why call ye me Master, Master, and do not the things which I say? Word Lord, for in the day of the great judgment, not one swears by his name in vain. My people of the house of Israel, remember the day of the Sabbath to sanctify it. Well, the Sabbath, 6 days you shall labor and do all your service, but the seventh day is rest, for rest and quietude before Yahuwah your Elohim. You shall not perform any work, you and your sons and your daughters, and your servants and your handmaids, and your sojourners who are in your cities. For in 6 days Yahuwah created the heavens and the earth and the sea and whatever is therein, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yahuwah hath blessed the day of the Sabbath, and sanctified it. My people, the house of Israel, let every man be instructed in the honor of his father and in the honor of his mother, that your days may be multiplied upon the land which Yahuwah your Elohim giveth you. My people, the sons of Israel, you shall not be murderers, you shall not be companions or partakers with murderers. In the congregations of Israel there shall not be seen a murderous people, neither shall your sons rise up after you and teach one another to take part with murderers. For on account of the guilt of murder, the sword cometh forth upon the world. Very interesting. It says something similar in Jubilees the bloodshed caused the flood, violence. And the sword's coming again. My people of the house of Israel, be ye not adulterers, nor companions, nor partakers with adulterers, nor in the congregations of Israel shall there be seen an adulterous people, that your sons may not rise up after you to teach one another to have part with adulterers, for through the guilt of adultery death cometh forth upon the world. Again, sons of Israel, my people, you shall not be thieves, nor companions, nor partakers with thieves. There shall not be seen in the congregations of Israel a thievish people, that your sons may not arise after you to teach one another to have part with thieves, for on account of the guilt of theft famine cometh forth upon the world. And sons of Israel, my people, you shall not testify against your neighbors a testimony of falsehood, nor be companions or partakers with those who bear false witness, nor shall there be seen in the congregations of Israel a people who testify a testimony of falsehood. Neither shall your sons arise after you to teach one another to have part with those who testify falsehood. Excuse me. For because of the guilt of false testimony, the clouds go up, and the rain cometh not down, and dryness cometh upon the world. They dried up the river Euphrates, or will be dried. Sons of Israel, my people, you shall not be covetous companions or partakers with the covetous, nor shall they be seen in the congregation of Israel a covetous people, that your sons may not arise after you to teach one another to have part with the covetous. Neither shall any among you covet the wife of his neighbor, nor his servant, nor his handmaid, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that belongeth to his neighbor, because through the guilt of covetousness the government breaketh in upon the possessions of men to take them, and the wealthy are made poor, and slavery cometh upon the world. That's very interesting. I got to read the Targums again. It's been a while. Romans 13:3, for rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. Sounds about right. The government break because of the guilt of covetousness. The government breaketh in upon the possessions of men to take them, and the wealthy are made poor. Slavery cometh upon the world. NWO. And all the people saw the thunders and were turned back, every one as he heard them coming forth from the midst of the lights, and the voice of the trumpet as it will raise the dead, and the mountain smoking. And all the people saw and drew back, and stood 12 miles off. And they said to Moshe, speak thou with us, and we can hear, but let it not be spoken with us any more from before Yahuwah, lest we die. And this Jerusalem Targum here, that's not Targum Jonathan, that's separate. And all the people saw the thunders and the lights and sound of the trumpet and the mountain smoking, and the people saw, trembled, and stood afar off. And Moshe said to the people, fear not, for the glory of Yahuwah is revealed to try you, whether his fear is before your faces, that you may not sin. And the people stood 12 miles off, but Moshe drew near to the height of the darkness, where the glory of Yahuwah, where was the glory of the Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, or Yahusha, speak thus to the sons of Israel, you have seen that from the heavens I have spoken with you, sons of Israel, my people, you shall not make, that you may worship the likeness of the sun, or the moon, or the stars, or the planets, or the angels who minister before me, idols of silver, nor idols of gold. You shall not make to you an altar of earth. You shall make to my name, and sacrifice upon it burnt offerings, and thy sanctified oblations from thy sheep and from thy oxen, in every place where my Shekinah shall dwell, in every place. And thou shalt worship before me, and there will I send my blessing upon thee, and will bless thee. But if thou wilt make an altar of stones unto my name, thou shalt not build them sculptured, for if thou lift up iron, from which the sword is made, upon the stone, thou wilt profane it. And you, the priest who stand to minister before me, shall not ascend to my altar by steps, but by sloping bridges, that thy shame may not be seen thereupon. Jerusalem Targum, an altar grounded in the earth shalt thou make unto my name, and shalt offer upon it your burnt offerings and sacred oblations, your sheep and your oxen, in every place in which you shall memorialize my holy name. My word shall be revealed to you and bless you. But if you make an altar of stones unto my name, you shall not build it with sculptured ones, because the sword is made of iron. If thou workest with iron upon it, thou wilt profane it. You also, the priests, the sons of Aaron, who stand and minister beside mine altar, shall not ascend by steps unto mine altar, lest your shame be disclosed upon it. And you got a New Testament example. Oh, Thomas. Good old Thomas. If I can remember where it's at. My Lord and my God. Okay. 302 pages. I'm not searching through all those. John 20:28. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Now, why would he say, My Lord and my God, to Yahusha? He's the Son of God. He's not the Father God, he's the Son of God. It makes him the God's Son. So we've got Exodus 21 from scroll 1Q2. Now these are the ordinances which you shall set before them. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th he shall go out free without paying anything. 3. If he should have come in alone, he shall also go forth alone. And if his wife should have gone in together with him, his wife also shall go out. Moreover, if his master give him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and the children shall be his master's, and he shall go forth alone. His master gives him a wife, sons and daughters. But if the servant shall say plainly, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him in to Elohim, and shall bring him to the door or to the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. 6. To 18, 13. Where's that? His master shall bring him to the judgment seat of God, and then shall bring him to the doorpost. Yep. If anyone sell his daughter as a domestic, she shall not depart as the maidservants depart. If she be not pleasing to her master, after she has betrothed herself to him, he shall let her go free. But he is not at liberty to sell her to a foreign nation, because he has trifled with her. And if he should have betrothed her to his son, he shall do it to her according to the right of daughters. And if he take another to himself, he shall not deprive her of necessities and her apparel and her companionship with him. And if he will not do these 3 things to her, she shall go out free without money. And if any man smite another and he die, let him be certainly put to death. But not if it is unintentional, but Elohim allows it to happen, then I will appoint you a place where he shall flee. If a man schemes and comes presumptuously on his neighbor to kill him, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. 14. 18 here. 14, 18. Whoever smites his father or his mother, let him be certainly put to death. He that reviles his father or his mother shall surely die. Whosoever shall steal one of the children of Israel and prevail over him and sell him, and he be found with him, let him certainly die. Like Joseph. If men quarrel and one strikes the other with a stone, this is scroll 2Q2, or with his fist, and he doesn't die but is confined to bed, if he rises again and walks around with his staff, then he who struck him shall be cleared. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time and shall provide for his healing until he is thoroughly healed. If a man strikes his servant or his maid with a rod, and he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. 21. But if the servant continue to live a day or two, let not the master be punished, for he is his money. If men fight and hurt a pregnant woman so that she gives birth prematurely, and yet no harm follows, he shall be surely fined as much as the woman's husband demands and the judges allow. 23. But if it be perfectly formed, he shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. If a man strikes his servant's eye or his maid's eye and destroys it, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. If he strikes out his male servant's tooth or his female servant's tooth, he shall let the servant go free for his tooth's sake. If a bull gores a man or a woman to death, the bull shall surely be stoned, and its meat shall not be eaten, but the owner of the bull shall not be held responsible. But if the bull had a habit of goring in the past, and this has been testified to its owner, and he has not kept it in, but it has killed a man or a woman, the bull shall be stoned, and its owner shall also be put to death. If a ransom is imposed on him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is imposed, whether it has gored a son or has gored a daughter. According to this judgment it shall be done to him. If the bull gores a male servant or a female servant, 30 shekels of silver shall be given to their master, and the ox shall be stoned. Yep. 20, Exodus 22. No, hold on a second. Where are we at here? Got to verse 32. 32. Okay. And if anyone open a pit or dig a cavity in stone and cover it not, or an ox or an ass fall in there, the owner of the pit shall make compensation. He shall give money to their owner, and the dead shall be his own. Yep. And if any man's bull gore the bull of his neighbor and it died, they shall sell the living bull and divide the money, and they shall divide the dead bull. But if the bull be known to have been given to goring in time past, and they have testified to his owner, and he have not removed him, he shall repay bull for bull, but the dead shall be his own. And if one steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall pay 5 calves for a calf, and 4 sheep for a sheep. And the Messiah goes over that. Matthew 7:12, therefore all things whatsoever you would that men should do to you, do you even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Not what they did to you, what you would have them do to you. Treat them like you want to be treated. 22. Yep. So we got, 22. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills it or sells it, Exodus 22, scroll 2Q3, he shall pay 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If the thief is found breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt or bloodshed for him. If the sun has risen on him, guilt of bloodshed shall be for him. He shall make restitution. If he has nothing to make restitution, then he shall be sold for his theft. Imagine if they did this kind of stuff now. Crime would vanish overnight. So that's 3 and then 4. If the stolen property is found in his hand alive, whether it is ox, donkey, or sheep, he shall pay 2 for 1. If a man causes a field or a vineyard to be eaten by letting his animal loose, and it grazes in another man's field, he shall make compensation from his own field according to his produce. But if the whole field is grazed over, he shall make restitution from the best of his own field and from the best of his own vineyard. So instead of double in the manuscript we have, it says 2 for 1. And it has extra instructions that are missing from our text. 6. Maybe they didn't want to do that, so they took it out. 16. So 5, 6 is missing. Yep. If anyone give to his neighbor money or goods to keep, and they be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, he shall repay double. If a man delivers to his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it is stolen out of the man's house, if the thief is found, he shall pay double. If the thief isn't found, then the master of the house shall come near to Elohim to find out whether or not he has put his hand on his neighbor's goods. So 9 to 12. It's like they're behind on this one. We'll just read 8 here. According to every injury alleged, both concerning a calf and an ass and a sheep and a garment, and every alleged loss, whatsoever in fact it may be, the judgment of both shall proceed before Elohim. He that is convicted by Yah shall repay to his neighbor double. And if anyone give to his neighbor to keep a calf or sheep or any beast, and it be wounded or die or be taken, and no one know, an oath of Elohim shall be between both, each swearing that he has surely not at all been guilty in the matter of his neighbor's deposit, and so his master shall hold him guiltless, and he shall not make compensation. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make compensation to the owner. So 12. But if it is stolen from him, the one who stole it shall make restitution to its owner. If it is torn in pieces, let him bring it for evidence. He shall not make good that which was torn. If a man borrows anything of his neighbor's, and is injured or dies, its owner not being with it, he shall surely make restitution. 15. But if the owner be with it, he shall not make a compensation. But if it be a hired thing, there shall be compensation to him instead of his hire. And if anyone deceive a virgin that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her for a wife to himself. And if her father positively refuse and will not consent to give her to him for a wife, he shall pay compensation to her father according to the amount of the dowry of virgins. Dowry of virgins. This is missing here. You shall not save the lives of sorcerers. That's a big thing to be missing out of a manuscript. Everyone that lies with a beast you shall surely put to death. He that sacrifices to any gods but to Yahuwah alone shall be destroyed by death. Put to death. You shall not hurt a stranger nor afflict him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall hurt no widow or orphan. And if you should afflict them by ill treatment, and they should cry aloud to me, I will surely hear their voice. And my wrath will grow hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to any of my people with you who is poor, you shall not be to him as a creditor. You shall not charge him interest. If you take your neighbor's garment as collateral, you shall restore it to him before the sun goes down. For that is his only covering, and it is his garment for his skin. what would he sleep in? It will happen when he cries to me that I will hear, for I am gracious. You shall not blaspheme Yahuwah, nor curse a ruler of your people. You shall not delay to offer from your harvest and from the outflow of your presses. You shall give the firstborn of your sons to me. You shall do likewise with your cattle and with your sheep. It shall be with its mother 7 days. Then on the 8th day you shall give it to me. Circumcised on the 8th day too. You shall be holy to me, therefore you shall not eat any meat that is torn by animals in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. 1 and 2 here. This reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch. This one matches the Samaritan Pentateuch also. Yep, 1 and 2. We already went over those. So these are missing in the KJV and the Septuagint, and they are found in the Samaritan Pentateuch. Paleogenesis. Exodus. So it's the same thing. Yep. 23. Well, let's see. I probably missed it again. 31. Nope, that's right. Alright, so 23. 23. Starts off at 4. Exodus 23, thou shalt not receive a vain report, thou shalt not agree with the unjust man to become an unjust witness. Thou shalt not associate with the multitude for evil, thou shalt not join thyself with the multitude to turn aside with the majority so as to shut out judgment. Thou shalt not spare a poor man in judgment. That still applies. Leviticus 27, sanctify yourselves therefore and be ye holy, for I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. 1 Peter 1:15, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. And 1 Peter 1:16, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. I can zoom in a little bit. Number 4. Yep. If you meet your enemy's ox, this is Exodus 23, scroll 4Q11. If you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. If you see the donkey of him who hates you falling down under his burden, don't leave him, you shall surely help him with it. You shall not deny justice to your poor people in their lawsuits. Keep far from a false charge, and don't kill the innocent and the righteous, for I will not justify the wicked. You shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of those who have sight and perverts the words of the righteous. Blinds the eyes. You shall not oppress an alien, for you know the heart of an alien, since you are aliens in the land of Egypt, or strangers. For 6 years you shall sow your land, and you shall gather in its increase, but the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your people may eat, and what they leave the animal of the field shall eat. In the same way you shall deal with your vineyard and with your olive grove. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may have rest, and the son of your servant and the alien may be refreshed. Be careful to do all things that I have said to you, and don't invoke the name of other gods, or even let them be heard out of your mouth. 14, you shall observe a feast to me 3 times a year. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, at the time appointed in the month Abib. For in it you came out of the land of Egypt, and no one shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of your labors which you sow in the field, and the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather in your labors out of the field. 3 times a year. 14. That's Paleo Exodus. Yep, keep a feast of me 3 times a year. Let's say 23. Yep. Three times. Exodus 23. And of all the precepts that I have spoken to you, be careful. And the names of the idols of the Gentiles remember not, nor let them be heard upon your lips. 3 times a year, keep the festival before me. That's in the Targums. And so that's 16, and we're missing all the way to 29. Yep. The Feast of the Harvest, the first fruits of your labors, unleavened bread. So 16. Feast of the completion at the end of the year and the gathering in. Feast of the completion at the end of the year. Gathering in of thy first fruits, of thy fruits out of the field. 3 times in the year shall all thy males appear before Yahuwah thy Elohim. For when I shall have cast out the nations from before thee, and shall have widened thy borders, thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither must the fat of my feast abide till the morning. Thou shalt bring the first offerings of the first fruits of thy land into the house of Yahuwah thy Elohim. Thou shalt not seethe a lamb in its mother's milk. And behold, I send my angel or messenger before thy face, that he may keep thee in the way, that he may bring thee into the land which I have prepared before thee. Who's his messenger? His word. So 20. Yep, so Targum says, I send my angel before thee to keep thee in the way. Place of my habitation, which I have prepared. Be circumspect before him, and obey his word. Be not rebellious against his words, for he will not forgive your sins, because his word is in my name. Behold, I send my angel before thy face, that he may keep thee in the way, that he may bring thee into the land which I have prepared for thee. Take heed to thyself, and hearken to him, and disobey him not, for he will not give way to thee, for my name is on him. If you will indeed hear my voice, and if thou wilt do all the things I shall charge thee with, and keep my covenant, you shall be to me a peculiar people above all nations, for the whole earth is mine. It's still the same thing. Peculiar. Who's going to be the peculiar people? Not the church. Church looks just like the world. They don't look like the Bible. Peculiar people. I know I used to be in the church. 1 Peter 2:9, but you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Elohim, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. What mercy? 72. Luke 172, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, the Messiah sacrificing himself for our sins, and to remember his holy covenant. Peculiar people, the weirdos that keep the commandments. Above all nations, for the whole earth is mine, you shall be to me a royal priesthood and a holy nation. These words shall you speak to the children of Israel. If you shall indeed hear my voice and do all the things I shall tell thee, I will be an enemy to thine enemies and an adversary to thine adversaries. For my angel shall go as thy leader, and shall bring thee to the Amorite and Chetite or Hittite, and the Perizzite and the Canaanite and the Girgashite. This is always puzzling to me, and a lot of translations are missing Girgashite for some reason. Gilgamesh? I don't know. And Evite and Jebusite, and I will destroy them. Thou shalt not worship their Elohim, nor serve them. Thou shalt not do according to their works, but shalt utterly destroy them, and break to pieces their pillars. And thou shalt serve Yahuwah thy Elohim. Their steeples on their churches, their obelisk in front of the White House, obelisk in front of the Vatican, pillars. And I will bless thy bread and thy wine and thy water, and I will turn away sickness from you. There shall not be on thy land one that is impotent or barren. I will surely fulfill the number of thy days, and I will send terror before thee, and I will strike with amazement all the nations to which thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies to flee. And I will send hornets before thee, and thou shalt cast out the Amorites and the Evites and the Canaanites and the Chettites from thee. 29. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate and the animals of the field multiply against you. Little by little I will drive them out from before you until you have increased and inherit the land. I will set your border from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the wilderness to the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. 29. Cast them out before. Yep, that's 31. 32. Thou shalt make no covenant with them and their Elohim. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they cause thee to sin against me. For if thou shouldst serve their gods, these will be an offense to thee. 24. Let's see. Interesting. This reading matches the Samaritan Pentateuch. Hey, John. Happy Sabbath. And so, Exodus chapter 24, scroll 4Q22, he said to Moses, come up to Yahuwah, you and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and Eleazar and Itamar. So these are in the Samaritan Pentateuch, but they're missing in our text. The LXX and the KJV. 4. Yep. Here it has 70 elders of Israel. Okay, 70 elders of Israel. So only thing that's missing is Eleazar and Itamar. And worship from a distance. Moses alone shall come near to Yahuwah, but they shall not come near. The people shall not go up with him. Oh. Moses came and told the people all of Yahuwah's words and all the ordinances, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahuwah has spoken will we do. Moses wrote all of Yahuwah's words, then rose up early in the morning and built an altar at the base of the mountain with 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel. That's awesome. 4. And he sent forth the young men of the children of Israel, and they offered whole burnt offerings, and they sacrificed young calves as a peace offering to Elohim. And Moses took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. He took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people, and they said, we will be obedient to. No, that's a big thing. Do means the same thing, but in the Samaritan Pentateuch, be obedient to all that Yahuwah has said and do it. Well, it's got to be obedient here. Just we will do. Let's see, 6. Moses took and poured half the blood out on the altar. All things whatsoever Yahuwah has spoken, we will do and hearken therein. Just as good. 7. Lord has said what we do and be obedient. Dead Sea Scrolls, we will be obedient to and all that Yahuwah has said and do it. Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, look, this is the blood of the covenant which Yahuwah has made with you concerning all these words. Then Moses, Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, and 70 of the elders of Israel went up. They saw the Elohim of Israel. Under his feet was like a paved work of sapphire stone, like the skies for clearness. He didn't lay his hand on the nobles of the children of Israel. They saw Elohim and ate and drank. Sapphire stone. No. No, it's in there. Pretty sure it's in there. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Nope. Yeah, 14. It's 14. Under his feet they saw the Elohim of Israel. Under his feet was a paved work of sapphire stone like the skies for clearness. They saw him. 14. That's 18. Oh, let's see. 14. 12. And its groundwork was of crystal. Looked and saw therein a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal. The wheels thereof as the shining sun, and there was the vision of a cherubim. Underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, so that I could not look thereon. The great glory set thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. Under his feet was like a paved work of sapphire stone. Anyways, let's see, 20. That's 24. 24. Moses went up, Aaron, Nadab, Abiud, 70 elders of Israel. They saw the place where Elohim of Israel stood. Under his feet was a work of sapphire slabs, as it were the appearance of the firmament of heaven in its purity. Of the chosen ones of Israel there was not even one missing, and they appeared in the place of Elohim and did eat and drink. I missed the end of it. There 11. Got sidetracked. So we got the ate and drank. And Yahuwah said to Moses, come up to me into the mountain and be there, and I will give thee the tables of stone, the law and the commandments, which I have written to give them laws. And Moses rose up, and Joshua his attendant, and they went up to the mount of Elohim. And to the elders they said, rest there till we return to you, and behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have a cause to be tried, let them go to them. And Moses and Joshua went up to the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain, and the glory of Elohim came down upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And Yahuwah called Moses on the 7th day out of the midst of the cloud, and the appearance of the glory of Yahuwah was as burning fire on the top of the mountain before the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and went up to the mountain, and was there in the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. Flaming fire. Let's see, 24. The Targums have Michael, the Prince of Wisdom, said to Moshe. 24. It says, he said to Moses. Who? And to Moses he said, 23. Oh, go back. Yeah, who's talking to him this entire time? Yep, Eleazar and Ithamar is missing from the Targum also. Shall rise. The footstool of his feet. And there did Gabriel descend to make brick and go up to the heavens on high, said it. Now they got Gabriel in here for some reason. The online Targums are a little bit different. I like the books better. Till I make thine enemies thy footstool. His enemies worship at his footstool. Exalt ye Yahuwah, our Elohim, and worship at his footstool, for he is holy. The earth is my footstool. Heaven is my throne. Interesting. All right. So I think I'll stop there. Got to 24. And yep, that'll work. All right. Hope that was helpful and blessing to somebody.